Patdees, and you're at Patdees 72 channel, and the show is All Things Ecom with Jess Hill. I want to apologize. We're running a little bit late, but we did post something in the community board on my YouTube channel at 10 o'clock, probably about 9:30 this morning, that we would move the show back to 12 because our guest, Jess Hill here, had some traveling issues. So, Jess?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, thank you. My van is in the shop. Big Red is under construction. So I appreciate you being flexible today. So I'm Jess Hill, Ladies of FBA founder, three plus year Amazon full-time seller. And I am here to answer questions and talk about all things Good morning, everyone's saying hi. So we're here to talk about everything e-commerce. So I know Pat has some questions. If you have some questions, make sure you're posting them we are monitoring the chat.
Right. And then we could do like for example, I can highlight it and go like that and, let people be part of our production here. Yeah, again, I'm really sorry that we couldn't go, but hey, life happens. And we just moved our schedule back and, it's funny because I went back and actually went back to bed and laid down for a little bit because I was up this morning. So I went back and took about a 40-minute nap. And I was thinking I haven't seen the Treasure Hustlers in a while. And they were here at 10 o'clock this morning, and Jackie and Sarah. So I'm sorry I missed you guys if you watched the replay. They're great mods. They're from California. So when they posted that this morning, they were up at 7 o'clock. So they do dumpster diving videos and stuff like that, but they haven't been on lately, Jackie and Sarah. So, ladies, if you're watching this in the replay, thank you for doing that. And I'm sorry if I missed you. Maybe I'll catch you today. It is noontime here on the East Coast. So what's that? 11 time? That's 9 o'clock their time. So it is lunchtime. We got Eric in the room, Myra from Jacksonville, Florida. Stocks Unhinged is in the room. Craig is in the room right now. Good morning, Craig. Thank you for joining us. I did get your cherry picker. Veronica is in the room right now. Now, there's 13 in the room. The people that I'm saying hello to are obviously just the people that are commenting. So please don't be afraid to comment. Veronica is actually, when I do my late show this Saturday at 11 o'clock, it's going to be all ladies. Jason and Eric that normally join me are going to be at an auction. I'm going to be joining them in the morning, but then they can't make it back in home in time, so I'm going to be joining them. So, there they are. They're Jackie and Sarah. So, thank you. I was thinking of you guys today and wondering where you've been. I hope all is well. You get used to somebody and then you don't see them for a while. You miss them. And Harlan, good morning, and Arthur. So, my name is Patdees, and I sell on eBay. I started selling on Amazon in January. I don't sell a lot, and that's the appeal of having Jess as a guest and doing the show is to help myself and help other people that want to, do Amazon because she has, and I'll let her explain her experience and stuff like that, what she does. And that's why we started a Wednesday show that we planned. But like I said, in the past, this will happen sometimes where we might have to adjust the time because of traveling or something's going on. So, Jess, welcome again. And you currently sell on tell the platforms that you sell on if I didn't hear you.
Sure. So Amazon is about 90%, 95% of my business model. I've been on eBay since 2003. I helped my mom since 2009 for her eBay account. And I'm on Mercari and Poshmark. I know I'm familiar with Bonanza. So for sure, Amazon is my big ticket. eBay is for most of my returns. And then Mercari, I have some overstock on that. So that's the current platforms.
Okay. It's funny. I mentioned Sarah and Jackie, and they are here, so appreciate it. They're working on some new editing software and stuff, but thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. you get used to somebody, and you hope that everything is well, and everything is well. So they're here, and I thank you again. But Ken is in the house. We got a lot of people rolling in right now, so it's good if I'm joining you guys for lunch. And I kind of today want to, last week was our premiere episode, and we hit on a couple things, and I want to kind of basically play the role of a newbie, because I still consider myself a newbie doing what I'm doing. I'm only doing probably about $800 to $1,000 a month selling on Amazon, and that's a little frustrating. I've made some mistakes, and the mistakes I've made is probably thinking that there's value in everything that you can scan and send into Amazon. I think last week we started talking about, if this was the first time I was meeting you, Jess, and I had $1,000, what would you say that I would start? What would I do to even, I'm telling you, Jess, I want to sell on Amazon. I have $1,000. What would be my first step?
Right. So, we did talk about this last week. So I explained that you want to find items. So I think I mentioned grocery and toy. Obviously, books are a good right now because it is back to school. So you could get some books, you list them used and their condition. So that would be definitely what I would be, mentoring you. And of course, when you have a new account, it's going to be gated because Amazon needs you to prove that you are a good seller with good metrics. So if you'll only have a few opportunities, you won't be able to sell topicals if you're a brand new seller. You'll have to get ungated in that after some time. And then there'll be other brands and stuff that you cannot sell. So that's why I would say, books, grocery, toy, whatever you can sell. And that's when I would say you need to start with the store closest to you. And what I do with my mentoring clients is I have them start from online and just enter the brands into their account and see what they are and are not gated for. So that would be the first steps before you even go to the store, because if you go to the store and waste 3 hours scanning stuff that you're gated in, when you could have done some what I call homework, action items and homework when I'm mentoring, your research on your account. So if you're a brand new seller, you can go in your pantry and start scanning. You can go in your medicine cabinet. You can go in the laundry room and just start scanning all the products, and you find a few things, a few brands that you can, good morning, that you can sell. Sorry, I sing sometimes. And that way you can start making a list. You can there's so many things that you can do. You could take that list, those brands, and couple your $1,000 with Sunday paper coupons. You're going to want to stretch your money farther or increase your return on investment. And then there's other things that you're going to want to do. So we just had a book sale on Thursday within about 5 miles from my house. So you're going to want to be, scouring for book sales in your community, and then be the first one there, because there are going to be other sellers that are going to be going there. So you need to be first, not the third day. The third day might be good if you're looking for really cheap books. But what you really need to be, if you're looking for books, is looking in those categories like I love to sing too, and squirrel, sorry. So college textbooks, wealth, any kind of financial planning books sell well for me. Any kind of self-help books, mental health, anything to do with raising children, books like that sell really well. I've sold some travel books. I've sold some books that are specific to one species. I'm a scientist. That's what I studied. And I found a hummingbird book, and it sold I got it for 50 cents. I think it sold for $41. This was when I was a really big bookseller. So, I don't always scan the kids' books because they are typically saturated. But if you can get a set of books, I think I mentioned last week, like the Diary of the Wimpy Kids, or, a set, like the set of Harry Potter, that kind of stuff. And even if you're not going to flip it on Amazon, that would be a good one for, say, Mercari or eBay if you have like a whole set of books, especially if you can get it for really cheap, like maybe 25 cents a book or 50 cents a book. So those are like some tips. You know, if you were my mentoring client coming to me and you were saying, okay, I have $1,000. So grocery, I always like to talk about grocery, and it'll definitely be specific to where you are. So I'm in the St. Louis area. We have a ton of great international grocers. So I would encourage a new mentoring client to go to any international foods, because everybody's at Walmart, everybody's at Target. Go to your local grocery store, the one that's, you know, your hometown, and look for specialty stuff, specialty spices, keto, gluten-free, you know, anything that's non-perishable that is a little bit different. And then international foods has been really good for me, because if we live in a metropolitan area, but then your buyer does not live in a metropolitan area, that's when they're going to go onto Amazon and they're going to get their favorite spice or their favorite sauce or their favorite noodles. So those are the things that I think I've touched upon.
Now, again, I'm a newbie, and you're throwing out some of these words like gated. What does gated mean?
Yeah, sorry, I have to, you know, so gating is Amazon gates new sellers because they need you to prove with good metrics, quality products, and you have all of your documents in place that you're a good seller. So they put these in place to weed out all the bad sellers, right? Because there are bad sellers. There are people that sell counterfeit. It's true. So what they do is for the first 6 months, you really just need to prove that you're a good business owner. So you're going to send in good products. You're going to keep your metrics good. You're going to do your due diligence as far as like setting up your account and opening a business checking. If that's what if you're going to be a full-time seller eventually, you're going to want to put all those ducks in a row. So then once you've had 6 months or more, then the gates start to open. So you might type in a brand, say, I'm not exactly sure since I'm ungated in a lot, but you might type in a brand, say Puma, let's say Puma shoes, and say in week 1, you're restricted. Well, maybe you ask for approval, you don't get approval, but maybe 6 months down the road, it auto ungates you. So it will be that you are getting open to sell that brand or product after you've proved to Amazon that you're a good seller.
Now, and two, what do I do? I want to open my Amazon account. So how do I go about doing that? I mean,
sure.
Is it hard? Do I have to fill out an online form? What do I have to give to be a, this is Patdees newbie.
Right. Okay. So the first steps in opening your Amazon account is to sign up, and then you'll have to give them your form of ID. You might have to give them like a utility bill to prove that you are who you say you are. You might have to you'll have to supply your form of payment, how you're going to pay for, if you're going to be a professional seller, the $39.99 a month. And then you'll need some kind of payout, like your checking account. And then if you're going to be selling, $10,000 a year or more, I believe you are going to want to have a business checking account and a form of payment business. So make sure that you're doing those things. So that would be on the business side. So you would be setting up your LLC or your S Corp. You would be going and getting a business checking, possibly a business credit card if that's what you're choosing to do. I mean, if it can be a business, so you'll have to follow the steps. In my group, we have a 101 in our Facebook group. I can just glance at that really quickly if you'd like. And it kind of gives you the basics of, okay, I'm a new seller. This is what I need. These are my steps of what I need to do. And then once you start selling, there's things that I recommend you have. So because Amazon, for me as a retail arbitrager, you will need inventory lab, because unless you're like a private labeler, you're only going to do a few products. You need something to manage the costs associated and the profit loss statement, because I'm going to be selling hundreds of things, and they're all, a spreadsheet's a little bit hard to manage. So let me look at the 101 really quickly. This is from Tony Barnes. Got to give her credit. She created this 101 in
Now,
the,
Jess, anytime you want to share anything on the screen, on the bottom, there is a button that says share screen. So,
sure.
I don't share nothing confidential.
Right. I mean,
anytime you want to share something, please do. Again, this is, I'm still consider myself Patdees, the newbie.
oh, for sure.
Tommy's in the room, and he's saying he likes the questions because he's a new person too, and there are people wanting to get in, and a lot of these terms are thrown out, and I think it seems overwhelming at times. They're not sure how to even start. So that's the approach I wanted to take today, is Patdees, the newbie, and I keep getting, when I'm listening to Jess, I'm not smiling all the time. That they busted my chops. So I'm giving you sometimes the solo window.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. So what I want you to do, so there's we have several things that you need to do, several steps. We have 12 things. So the first thing is you're going to be picking your store name. So if you're on the other platforms,
I got to pick a store name. I can't just go in there and say Pat Sells.
You can, that can be your store name. But for me, I always recommend something generic, because today you might have beauty accounts, but next year you might have grocery accounts, or you might be sourcing a lot of clothing, or you might be sourcing a lot of toys. You don't want to, like, I like something generic, and you could name it after your dog, something like that, like, or whatever. But that's the first step, is picking a store name, right?
Okay. So first step, store name. All right.
Right. So, and just so you know, Amazon sellers, we don't share our store names with others because of, go ahead.
For competitive reasons?
For competitive reasons, right?
Right. I understand. That's fine.
And then another good point is to sign up for a separate business email, because you'll get all the Amazon emails, and you'll want them to be filtered to your Amazon folder.
I want to interrupt you a second. We have a question here. Myra says, I feel bad. I don't know what FBA means. Is that something like FBI?
Mm-hmm. I'm just kidding. So
you froze there for a second.
I know. Okay, so first, fulfillment by Amazon, FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. So Amazon's going to pick and pull it. Unlike eBay, you can ship it from your house, and that's called merchant fulfilling, or you can send it all in a big box to Amazon, and they will pick and pull it. So that's the difference. Even though I think there was an announcement that eBay is going to start doing it, this has been around for like 10 years or more. And then Stocks Unhinged said, I named my store after my emotional support snake. I appreciate that. I don't have an emotional support snake, but I do have an emotional support dog. Okay. And one of our stores is named after our dog. Okay. So then you'll want to have your LLC. Especially if you're taking this big time, you're going to need an LLC to protect yourself. And I just did it on the Missouri website. Like, I didn't hire someone to do it. I just it only took a few minutes. For me, it was only $52 in Missouri. And then you'll need your EIN number. Yeah. So you'll set that up for your LLC. And then you could do that on the IRS website. You'll want to get your resale license or reseller certificate or sales tax permit. So you'll want to do that through your state's online website.
Jess, there's a comment from Arthur. Can you see it on the screen?
Let's see. Which one is it?
I highlighted it. It's on.
Perhaps she can share her opinion how we get over the fear of starting. I see a lot of people holding. So I just want you to make a goal to send your first box. Make a goal to scan 10 items. Make a small attainable goal and then do it. That's what I tell, because you're not going to, just like anything else, just like riding a bike, just like trying a new sport, just do it. And even if you're just going to merchant fulfill, just list your first merchant fulfill items, right? So all you can do is try. That's all you can do. Okie dokie. So the next thing on the list is that you're going to want to get your business bank account, right? It's a lot easier to manage a business outside of your personal bank account, checking account. And you can do that. I have a credit union and I also have PNC. Those are who I work with, but there's plenty. You can work with your current bank, your personal bank, and just open a business account. Then you'll set up your seller account through your business email and use your LLC. And then I would choose the professional plan and just make sure that you sell a minimum of 40 items per month, because you're going to be open, ungated, and a lot more as a professional seller than just an individual seller.
Now, what's the difference between those two, Jess?
Sure. So the individual seller, you'll get, for each item that you sell, you get a fee of $1 because you're not in the professional plan. And
just $1 to sell the item? That's it?
No, a fee on top of the fees.
Oh, okay.
Right. But if you sell more than 40, then why not get the professional plan and not have those fees? That, like if you sell 41, you would save $1 by getting the professional plan. And the professional plan will have more openings for you to sell than an individual seller. They'll have more gating.
Now, here's a quick question. Should you try MF first, which is obviously merchant fulfilled, you mentioned?
Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you're most comfortable with. I like FBA because last year I sold 52,000 items. I am not going to ship all of those items myself.
Wow. 52,000.
Right. For 2018. That's
like 1,000 items a week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like at least at that 100 items a day. So, yeah, it's a lot. So
yeah, I mean, I see eBay sellers get excited when they ship out 15 packages. So to ship 1,000 items a week, and I know this, and again, Patdees newbie here is showing it, and Leticia just said, "Wow, exactly how you have grown something so large and scaled it up that." To really get a grasp of what you're doing, that 52,000 items is there's people that don't sell 52,000 items on eBay in 5 years. Let's face it.
Right.
It's totally a different. And today what we're talking about is starting out on Amazon. So this Jess, for the people that haven't watched last week, you don't have to tell me how much money you made this year, but how many sales so far have you done? Like, what are you averaging a month right now?
Well, I actually brought up my year to date. So I do have, so as of today, August 7th, 2019, I've sold 31,457 items. The order product sales is $531,492.12. So I don't see my store name on here. Like, could I send you a little snapshot of it?
Your store name would be.
I just don't want to. But I can send you I don't know if I can send you a snapshot. I don't know. But anyway.
If you don't do it today, what we'll do is in the future, on our private live stream, we'll play around with it and then make sure that you're happy with it. And then when we go live with it, you'll already be familiar with it. That way, that way we protect what you're doing and.
No, I have it. Am I able to share on this?
On the bottom, it says share screen.
Okay, 1 second, and I just clipped it, and I'm just going to put it
That's fine.
On a Google sheet real quick. So the reason, so fulfillment by Amazon is really good when you have that volume. Could you start with merchant fulfill? Yeah, you could go over to your bookcase, and you could find 10 books and you could list them in their condition right away. Like, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying the reason I do fulfillment by Amazon is because of the volume, right? So for me, I definitely want to be having Amazon fulfill it for me so that I don't have to deal with shipping, 31,000 or 52, whatever it is. just because I don't personally have the manpower. So I use Amazon. I use their fulfillment services. So, okay, we're going to do the share screen, and then I will share. Let's do it. Share. And this is it. So yeah, so here's my snapshot as of right this morning.
And then I'll add it to the stream. So
okay. Okay, yeah. Yep. Okay, so can they see it? Yes. Oh wow. So this is it's total units ordered. So you can see the total order items is 28,386. So that's the order. But then there might be, multiples of 2 or multiples of 5 or whatever. If someone orders more than one, that's what that means. So
it's 20. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's 28,000 different SKUs.
Orders.
Orders.
Right.
Oh, okay. And then the 31,000 is the multiple effect, because like you said, someone could get 2 pairs of jeans, a pair of shoes, and that would be one order with 3 items.
Right.
Right, exactly. Okay. Right. And the only reason I'm asking that is just so that people kind of understand like what the difference is in those 2 numbers. I get it, because even it's something simple as the Instacart that I do, I run into that where I may have 2 orders, but 200 items because of the way it is. But hey, there is a quick question, and the reason I'm going to ask now is so that I kind of don't forget. But Myra is asking, if you're an individual seller, do you have to pay taxes? Professional sellers would have to. So is there a maximum that you don't, if you're below that you don't have to pay taxes? And I know you always give a certain that you're not a CPA, but that is the question that 3 people have mentioned on the side chat.
Okay, so I am not a CPA. I recommend everyone pay their taxes. If you profit over $600 on Amazon, you must pay taxes on the profits. So I absolutely pay all of my taxes. I have a CPA. I have a bookkeeper. So just like eBay, you're going to get your tax forms at the end of the year, or just like PayPal, So yes, I would say you have to pay taxes on the profit. If obviously you take a loss, right? You might it'll be dependent on your business model, but I would definitely consult a CPA.
Right, and I'll second that. And having been in business myself, yeah, the rule is over 600. But then also keep in mind, if you have a job, and let's say you start out Amazon, you make a couple mistakes, and you have a loss of $500, you can offset that loss against your normal paycheck at a job. So again, it's always important to make sure you're doing that, because you don't want to get in trouble down the road. Now, one of the questions also is, Jess, do you deal with mostly small packages, I assume? I think you mentioned lotions earlier. Is that right?
I sell all categories. So yes, I have beauty, I have clothing, I have toys, I have shoes, I have books, I have DVDs, video games, household goods, like not vacuums, but like filters. I don't sell like the big things. I don't sell anything. Well, okay, I take that back. In Q4, I do sell rather large items, but typical items are smaller. But I mean, it's variable, because like my makeup brushes are one size, but then my bras, and then they get big, toys. Like sometimes I'll have a big toy. I sell anything that makes a profit and is legal. That I don't have an emotional attachment to anything that I sell. I don't have cats, but I'll be happy to sell cat products, so it's a wide variety. My average sales per order item has gone up $7 since last year. So last year I was averaging 11. I was doing some lower ended items, and now I have both. Right now it's a bunch of backpacks and lunch boxes, right? Because it's back to school. So I guess my answer is I sell a lot of different things. Okay. So so this is just the sales snapshot from the back end of my seller account. So you don't have to you can kind of disregard that blue line just because today is only August 7th. So it will come back up because this is accounting for the total sales for August. So don't worry about that. But anyway, so if you have any other questions about the sales snapshot, I'm happy to answer them. I'll go ahead and stop sharing this for now. And then, so what other questions? Okay, so if you're a new seller, you're going to want to be, yeah, we'll go back to that.
I think we were at 5 or 6 on the list.
Yeah, so then let's see. You can, okay, obtain, so business insurance. So this is a big deal. I don't know if you guys are abreast of the conversation, and so someone had a private label lead for like a leash lead for your dog, and it snapped back at the customer and blinded them. So Amazon is now on the hook for that. So business insurance is required. Once you reach $10,000 in sales in 1 year, they can ask for the documentation at any time. So if you're going to be a full-time seller, if you're going to be a bigger seller, maybe not full-time, but bigger, I always tell my mentoring clients that they need business insurance. I have mine locally right through State Farm. It's $677 a year, and I have a $2 million policy. So I just wanted, it's liability insurance. There's people in the industry like Ashlyn Hayden that sell it and everything, but you can just get insurance through a local broker. And then let's see, you'll need add your sales tax permit to your seller account. And then what I always have, everyone, within the dashboard, you can go in and watch Seller University videos. You can watch videos on YouTube, you can watch my videos, you can take trainings, but you're gonna need to watch the Seller University videos. How to prep something, just all the videos. There's hours of videos that you can learn Amazon's way of doing things. And I would definitely encourage you to do so. You don't have to like sit and watch everyone, but I just like to have them on in the background and listening to them so that I'm always aware of what the rules are. Because you're going to want to read your terms of service. So as you guys know, well, maybe not. You know, drop shipping, you have to do it correctly. You cannot drop ship from eBay. You cannot drop ship from Walmart. You need, if you're going to drop ship, you need to have your supplier, your warehouse, it's under your business name, shipping it to the customer. So you need to go on the terms of service and know that you can't send hangers, you can't send, you know, your kids' pajamas that you bought at Walmart with the hanger, you need to remove the hanger, those kinds of things that you need to watch the university videos and then read the terms of service. And then the first software outside of Amazon that I always recommend, especially if you're doing retail arbitrage or online arbitrage or wholesale, like if you're going to have a lot of SKUs, is Inventory Lab. Because having an Excel sheet or a number sheet or a Google sheet is fine for your personal budget. But if you're going to be managing lots of SKUs and possibly different prices, you really need to get Inventory Lab. That is the one-stop shop for inventory management for .com, right? If you're in Canada, they don't have it yet. You'll have to use an Excel sheet or something of this like, but Inventory Lab is my go-to software.
What is this Inventory Lab, and does it cost a lot of money?
No, I think it's $50 a month. But like I said, here, I can share my screen again. Once you have 25 SKUs, I think once you have 25 SKUs, then it gets to be a little bit hard to manage your inventory. Like, you know, you're going to have cost from store 1. Then you might find the same thing from store 2, a little bit different cost, still profitable. Then you might find the same product at store 3, a little bit different. Maybe you had a coupon. So how are you going to manage that? And then they have profit loss statements. They have, you can put in all your extras. So let's say you, at the end of the year, you have your income from eBay, maybe you have your income from Mercari, maybe you have your income from Poshmark. You can put all of it in Inventory Lab and then hand over that information to your CPA. It really, really, really helps. And you can put in not just, it integrates with Amazon, but then you can put in your mileage. So you need to be tracking your mileage. There's Mile IQ. There's several different apps that you can track your mileage. You can put that into Inventory Lab as an expense and really have your numbers really, really good for end of year for your CPA.
Hey, Jess, there was a quick question from Craig. I don't want to forget. Landshark Picker, what are your typical average margins on each item? I'm not sure if he's talking bottom line or what you try to generally, if you want to dwell something in there.
So this is what my rules are. When I have two shoppers too, like, minimum profit, minimum return on investment, 30%. That's going to be grocery and toys. I like a minimum return on investment for all the other categories to be 70%. So I think I'm with the majority of people in e-commerce selling on Amazon. I'm about a 20% profit, right? So every month I report out to my Ladies of FBA group and my followers on Instagram and what my profit was for the month. And I think it was 20.07. So right at 20% profit for July. And so return on investment is different from profit, right? Profit is going to be the percent of sale that you're profiting. So if you bought something for $5 and you sold it for $20 and your profit, so that was a 300% return on investment or whatever, but then your profit was 29%. So they're a little bit different, those calculations. So I don't know if that's what you're looking for. So overall profit, 20%, right around there. That's
now, 20% is after
everything.
Right, after Amazon takes out their fees and everything.
Right.
All right. Now you mentioned two shoppers. For people that are following us, what do you mean by two shoppers?
So this is a huge, if I pull 10 books from my shelf, how do I determine profit? Because it wouldn't automatically know the current market value of the item. Okay, we can get to that, Myra. So my shoppers, I have two people that work for me under my account. I fund them money, and then they go out with my thresholds and they purchase items for my account and they prep and ship them in for my account. So Kimmy in Pennsylvania and Nikki here in Wentzville, which is a little bit outside of St. Louis. They have the skills. They know how to look up on Scoutify, that's the Inventory Lab app, how to shop at Ross and TJ Maxx and Kohl's. They just ran out of money for their account, or in Kimmy's case, she wants to build out her prep warehouse. So they go and shop for me. I pay them, 10% of spend, and then they send it to Amazon, and then we sell it and we do it again. So because, I'm only one person, I couldn't build $1 million account without people to help me. So I hired those awesome, amazing ladies in March as contractors. So they do it on their own time. They just say, hey, I would love to spend $2,000 this week. Do you have the funding? And I send over the funding, and then they go shop, and then I audit their batches in Inventory Lab. And right now, they've been doing it for many months. So everything that they put in is always within the specifications of my thresholds.
Now, when you say hire them, they're not, Jess Hill's employees.
Right. They're just contractors.
They're 1099s.
Yeah, they're 1099s.
And I'm going to explain this for people that are worried about, I got to go through that process and hire somebody. No, exactly. They make up their own schedule for what they want to do and go out and shop. I think, there's a lot of people that are in the information that you're putting out is great for even people that are starting out, but it's also great for people that want to scale up and maybe are stuck at a certain number because they're not willing to hire shoppers and what it takes to do that. Because it's impossible for you personally having a family with kids to get out there and go through, let's say, 300 stores.
Right. I mean, I could do it, but I was really, pushing the limits. So Q4, I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night, and that's it. And this year I might do a lot of work, but I might not, because I have a great team, and I still do source for my account. And my assistant Jordan, who's been with me for 3 years, I now just take all of my van full over to her house and she preps it.
Well, when you say she preps it, what do you mean?
So she puts them in Inventory Lab, the shipping, the batch. She will take off the clearance sticker. She will, mostly bras. Was what I gave her yesterday. We actually met for tacos, and then we did the switch. We call it the switch. And like she'll take the bra and she'll prep it. She'll fold it nicely, put the air pillow in the middle, and then she'll put it in the poly bag, and then she'll print the label and label it and put it in the box. That's the prep part, right?
Now, is she set up for that? Like, does she have her own printer and all that she had already?
I just gave them to her. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you gave her a couple items to get started, and now she does that. My question is, don't you worry that, in other words, why aren't they selling on Amazon themselves? That is a common question for people. Why do they want to be a shopper for Jess Hill and not just kind of do their own thing?
So they are, and we have non-compete agreements. Jordan doesn't not. She just simply works for me. She's my best friend. She doesn't need to do that. Kimmy and Nikki have their own accounts. We have our own non-compete agreements. We have our store names. I can audit their stores at any given time for the ASINs that I have in my store, so we're not competing, and so that they're not stealing my replens. Just like hiring anyone in any business, you need to have trust. So they just have the skills, and possibly they just didn't have the funds to keep going with their account. Right. So I was happy to hire them.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Were we up to number 7 or 8 on the list?
Yeah. So I think we went through all 12 actually.
Oh, we did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't say each number. So that's what those are the steps I recommend. There are things like you can also open an American Express business card. There's things like that, different like secondary things that you can do for your account. But those are the basics. If you're brand new, you're looking to sell on Amazon, do those basic things. And then, so Myra had the question, how do I know what this book is worth? So once you open your account, even if you opened an individual account, so you don't have to pay the $40, $39.99 a month, you can go into you'll download the Amazon Seller app to your smartphone, or you can go on your computer and you can go into add product. So on the back of that book, there will be a UPC or an ISBN number, and you can type that in, or if they don't have either of those, you can type in the title, search for the book, and then you'll see what's listed and what you're going to get back for it, right? So let's, I can look up a book really quickly on my Seller app, and to just give you an example. So that's the research. That's what the scanning part of your job. Scanning is the biggest part of our job, right? Because you got to figure out what you're going to buy. So we're going to put in To Kill a Mockingbird. I don't know why that popped into my head, but that's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to I actually just typed in the title to the Amazon Seller app. And of course, because I'm trying to do it live, it's taking forever. So I would definitely go to the Seller app. It's not going to load. Oh, here we go, finally. Oh, it's sales rank 11. That's a very good rank. So, okay, so the lower the rank, the better, just like golf. So for this, there's several different listings. You want to make sure that you're selling the right, if it was that one, I'm not sure what you might have on your shelf. This one actually says you cannot sell this product in new condition to me, but I can sell it used, right? So the Amazon Seller app is going to, let me see if I can see. Can you see? Okay. I always get backwards. So like, see how it says gross proceeds for used. It looks like there's 162 used offers. There's only 16 people selling it, or 16 offers for FBA, which is sending it to the warehouse. So you would list it in the condition, and you'll want to go into Seller University, Seller Central, and see the condition guidelines, because you want to make sure that your conditions that you're putting it under are correct. So whether it's used, very good, like new, used, the various different conditions. And then you'll say, okay, well, it's $3 profit, you know. So if it's free, if it's in your bookcase and you weren't doing anything with it, then maybe you can make $3 off of it. And then you just go to the next book and the next book and the next book. And Land Shark Picker is asking, do you suggest starting with books is a good entry category to learn how Amazon operates? So yes, you can find books rather cheaply, and that's helpful because especially if you have, a budget, and you just want to try it out. You don't want to make huge mistakes on like, big pallets of stuff or anything like that. So absolutely, I would start with books, and then, grocery. Grocery is one of my favorite categories because even though the return on investment is a little bit lower, it turns faster. That category turns faster, so it's going to start generating your capital more. And when you're in grocery, you can think about finding things that you can replenish every month.
The appeal I like of groceries and I sell a product that I found at a I don't know, I think it is a national chain, but it's not huge. But it's a candy product, and I buy it for I was buying it for $3.95, selling it for $11.95, and then what happened was more people started coming on with it, so I lowered the price down. I'm still making actually I'm making more than 20%, so I'm not going to complain. I'm making about 70%. I'm able to
Can you? So Pat, I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me, Jess?
Oh, now I can. It was getting really happy.
Yeah, froze up there for a second. I'm not sure what happened.
So Pat, for that, I would my suggestion would be look at Amazon. Is it a single
item? Yeah. It's not bundled with nothing else or a poly bag or nothing.
Well, since it's selling so well, I would make a 2-pack, a 3-pack, and a 4-pack and sell it in a multi-pack. Because if people are buying the single, then they're going to buy a multi-pack. And then you can move away from all of your competitors.
Yeah. Now, is that complicated to do that, or?
Right. So you could just go through. It's not that hard. But you will need to get what is called a GTIN exemption, which because it is now a multi-pack, it's not the UPC on the back of the product, because that's for the single, right? Single, let's just say it's a Snickers, which it's not because that's meltable. So if you have one Snickers, the UPC is for one Snickers. So you'll go and you can put in the search bar up at the top right-hand corner, that put in GTIN exemption. And then it will show you the steps of getting the GTIN exemption for your multi-pack. So no, it's not that hard. And just like sending your first box, creating your first listing is another step in the right direction for your account. But what I would do is search first, because there might already be a 2-pack or a 3-pack or a 4-pack.
Yeah, and I mean, it was found by it's funny how the prices are kind of all over the board sometimes. I've noticed that, like my product right now is basically $8.95, and the highest is $30.54. Now I have the box price because I am 25 cents less than the next guy. And I'm selling, and I'm always trying to be conscientious. Obviously, I just don't want to sell stuff to pay the $40 fee, but I want to make sure that I'm turning stuff every month so that I'm not losing $40. That I'm at least trying to. So if I sell 8 bags of this a month, I cover the fee. Then pretty much everything after that, after Amazon's fees, I'm making money. And that's a question I have too, is when do you finally get to a point where you say, I've sent stuff into Amazon, it's not selling, I should recall it because I don't want to pay storage fees?
Right. So this is where sticking to thresholds. So Stocks Unhinged is saying that they sent over 125 books. It's priced well, but it takes volume. But what I would do is set your threshold for your ranks, because if and make sure you're learning Keepa. Keepa is also a software that you should think about.
How do you spell that? Keepa.
Keepa. Keep.
Oh, just exactly how? Okay.
Yeah. So it's the software that has the most sales history for your products. So that's, you'll get better as you start learning how to source well, sourcing products that have a low amount of sellers, that have a low rank, so that you don't have a lot of storage fees. So last month, I think my storage fees were like less than $200, and I have $98,000 worth of inventory in the warehouses. So because it's always turning. So that's the bad thing about books is if you find a lot of books on your bookshelf, but the ranks aren't very good, then you might have to pay storage fees. So you have to be mindful of that because you don't want to go and pay storage fees and then just lose a bunch of money.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I just recently recalled some stuff because even the stuff it was in the beginning, some mistakes I made. Now, one of the things I've noticed that happens being a seller, they're always kind of trying to push you to drop the price. Some stuff I've dropped by cents, but some stuff I've just remained firm because there wasn't a whole lot of I'll show you just recently. Can you see that?
Let me see. I was looking at YouTube. Yes.
The beanie, oversized Beanie Baby tie plush.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that on the internet though, Pat.
It's sold. I'm out of it. Okay. It's sold out. That's why I wanted to find a product that was completely. I sold it out. I don't even have anymore.
Okay. Good.
But it was a product, to be honest, that I found for $5. I had priced it at $15.95. And I would constantly get, that was the battle, is that everybody, I'm going to drop 2 cents, I'm going to drop 3. And then Amazon kept on emailing me to kind of and I kind of stuck to a price. I said, no, I'm not going to drop it below this. And they said, well, it was slow moving. Well, guess what? It might have not moved for a week. And then all of a sudden, like every day I sold one of those items. Now I had a great return on that. I sold that item for $14.72 average. I paid $5 for it. I netted $10. After their fee, they basically took almost $5.
Right.
So I had 100% return on that, which, like you talk about, the 20%, those 100% returns are rare. But how do you control that with being forced to drop the price?
Okay, so I want to correct you because 20% is the profit of the sale. Return on investment is what you're talking about. 100% return on investment. There are two different calculations.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it would be anyways, for that, okay. So two things. Return on investment is different than profit, and then repricer. So the price is going to fluctuate when you have competition. If you're not a private label seller with only one seller, then you're an arbitrager, right? Online or retail, or you're a wholesaler. And so what you have to do is you have to stay competitive with you don't have to stay competitive with the buy box, but 80% of the sales on Amazon are coming from that buy now or add to cart button. And whoever has that buy box is going to get it. So this is what it sounds like. It sounds like you had a few sellers on that on the plush toy that you just showed me, and they kept fluctuating, and then somebody ran out, and then you were granted the buy box. So boom, 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 you're sold. That was you obtaining the buy box. Otherwise, hello. Otherwise, what I use Aura, which is a repricer, to automatically update my prices for me because, I have 2,000 SKUs. There's no way I could competitively reprice all day, every single day.
Right.
But you can do it with less than 25 SKUs. Like, you don't have to buy a bunch of software starting out. But that's what's happening, is the competition has the buy box. So Amazon's saying, hey, if you want to sell this, you need to be at this price because everyone else is selling it at this price, and this is where the buy box is. So consider selling it at this price. You can hold and wait, or you can match the buy box. So that's what I do. Yep, that's what I do.
All right. Hey, Jess, I really appreciate, we're getting down to the last 5 minutes. I really appreciate you stopping in. This is why we're going to do a weekly show, because there's a lot of things that we haven't even talked about, that we can, dig into. So I want you to plug what, your channel is and what's going on and what do you do. as far as Instagram and are you making content daily?
Yes. So I'm trying, right? The kids go back to school tomorrow. So this is what's going on. So I'm here on YouTube. Michelle has shared my link. A couple others have shared my link. So feel free to follow me on YouTube. That I am building. There's some videos up there for you. So someone asked what Aura was. Aura is the repricer that I use. And I do have videos regarding Aura on my channel on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, Jess Hill, Ladies of FBA. You can join my Ladies of FBA Facebook group. And then you can find me on Instagram, Ladies of FBA. So definitely all of the above. And then, of course, my website, ladiesofFBA.com.
All right. Hey, I appreciate you coming. And sorry, guys, that we were a little bit late today. Normal time, like I said, will be on Wednesday at 10 o'clock right now, but things change. Life changes as far as, things happening. So I do appreciate everyone coming out. If you can see by the banner tomorrow night on my channel, What the Hells is going to be there at 9 o'clock. If you guys haven't followed them, down in the description below, there's always a link to someone's channel. So Jess is, if you guys haven't followed her, Ladies of FBA, her link is down there below. And then, of course, on Saturday, I do my late show at 11 o'clock, and it's going to be ladies' night this weekend, as Eric and Jason are not going to be around. They're going to be at an auction. So I do appreciate everyone stopping in, and I appreciate our mods, Michelle, Melissa, Kimberly was here earlier, but she had to go. And if you see a wrench, Jess, that means they're a mod. So they have they have the ability to share links and kick out any bad actors, but I don't usually have that issue as far as people coming in. So I do appreciate everyone stopping in this week, and I'll see you guys next week with Jess Hill. And again, tomorrow night, don't forget What the Hells. Oh, and actually, real quickly, Adam Exploits, he called me up today and wants to do an interview with me. I think he's going to do that at 5 o'clock on his channel. So I'll be on YouTube twice today. That's not uncommon because I have the tendency sometimes I'll make my rounds. But I appreciate everyone watching, and I'll see you guys again. Have a great day.
Bye.